Hi, thank you so much for coming. My name is Shelby. I just wanted to ask, as I've gotten more and more involved in politics and watching podcasts, I listen to like 2 or 3 podcasts a day, oftentimes. How do you keep your heart from getting hardened and like just being like wanting to be Jesus flipping over the tables, but like 24/7?
Yeah, well, that's a great question. I'll give you a biblical answer to it. Last July, I was having a very difficult time. So with this, I do 3 podcasts a day. I do 3 hours of radio a day. I spoke at 330 places last year on the road. We have 250 people on staff. Got to raise a bunch of money. Plus, I got to deal with all the fun people at the New York Times trying to destroy my life every single day, right? Amongst other things. So it's a lot, right? And not to mention, not exactly an uplifting news cycle the last year and a half, right? It's just another kind of awful thing, that one at the other. And I was talking to a pastor friend of mine in New York City. I was telling him this, and he just asked me, he said, "Are you honoring the Sabbath?" I said, "Yeah, I'm kind of doing a Sabbath-ish thing, right? Kind of very, and he said, "You should really consider it." And so I did. And so every Friday night, I take a Jewish Sabbath. I turn my phone off completely. I'm unreachable by the world. And from Friday night to Saturday night. And so I started doing it. It was really hard at first, but I just do it religiously, regardless of where I am. No one can contact me. And I just read, I take notes, whatever. And it's been an unbelievable blessing. So let me kind of give you the Christian case for the Sabbath. First of all, I'm not going to make a theological argument you're bound to the Sabbath, okay? There's contradicting New Testament scriptures to this. I'm not going to say that. It's the only one of the 10 commandments Jesus did not reinforce as far as that we have to honor. Instead, I'm going to make a separate argument that it predated the law, which it did, and that will bless your life significantly, okay? So I believe the 10 commandments are a gift from the Lord. They're really the 10 statements, if you actually look at it. It starts with the one statement, which is, "I'm the Lord your God who delivered you from Egypt," right? He has to remind you because humans have a tendency to forget. And so he's like, "Hey, remember, I'm the guy that brought you from Egypt." That came before the 10 commandments. And so the Decalogue says very clearly that we have to honor the Sabbath. So, but why, right? Well, God rested after creation, not because he needed rest, right? But to admire his creation, but also, I think, to also show us an example that if God rested, we should rest as well. So in the one day of the Sabbath, I could tell you it has infinitely blessed my life beyond I could ever tell you. So not only am I unreachable, more time with my wife, more time with my family, more time with people I actually care about. I read books that kind of get put aside for the previous week, and it makes everything I do more sustainable. And I truly believe, this is my personal theory, I'm actually writing a book about why Christians should honor the Sabbath. It's going to be my next book after my next book, so in 2 books from now. So my next book is Why You Shouldn't Go to College, which will be good. And then that one, that one will be a real hit with parents. So my Sabbath, but I believe truly that the Sabbath is the commandment that makes the other 9 possible. And so let's think about it. If you're a parent that is growing disconnected from your child, are you having a Sabbath dinner with them with no devices on every Friday night? Probably not. I believe the Sabbath dinner is one of the great traditions that mankind has always had. And whether we like it or not, Jesus had plenty of Sabbath dinners. We know that. And he had a Passover dinner. I'm not saying that you're bound by it, but this is a thing that's in the Bible that's kind of like, wow, am I doing that? Am I taking advantage of that? So I call on every Christian, if you want your life to improve, maybe you don't. Maybe you want your life to remain awful and miserable. But if you want your life to improve, the happiest people, the least depressed people in the world are those that honor the Sabbath. They are. Or some form of a day of rest. They live longer, they're healthier, less disease, and all of it. So for me, that's been a great blessing. And it's a way just to totally tune out of all this kind of nonsense that's happening around you. So, and then finally, I'll say this. People say, "Charlie, I'm too busy." I say, okay. I hate to pull rank on this, but if I can do it, you can do it, okay? And so if you do it, try it for a month, try it for 2 months, and you'll find your relationship with God and your loved ones will dramatically improve, and that hardened heart that you are worried about, I think will soften very quickly. God bless you. Thank you.